This album both drove out my best friend and got me the best friend of my entire life. But now, let's reminisce on all those dark, depressing memories. Why don't we take it away, Matt? Hey guys, it's Madeline here. So being a 17-year-old girl with ADHD, I tend to overanalyze anything and everything. Combine that with being a writer, music geek, poet, and wannabe English major, and you have yourself a recipe for disaster. So today, we're going to be overanalyzing Ready to Let Go by Cage the Elephant. We're gonna rip this song to pieces, learn some new things, and change how you, and most definitely I, listen to this song for the rest of eternity. Let's do it. So I'd like to start off with a little background from the songwriter of this song, of course, that person being Matt Shultz. Amidst Matt of those sessions, there was a fair amount of self-medication and intense isolation. Those erratic sessions produced Social Cues out April 19th, which adds a new depth to the band's sound. Here, Ready to Let Go, about a trip to Pompeii, where Matt and his wife realized they needed to divorce. It's hard when you love each other, but it just won't work, he says. I'm glad to be past it. Schultz started writing from the perspective of this character, this soft-spoken, shy-eyed murderer. So, according to Matt, Pompeii doesn't hold any real significance, but in the spirit of overanalyzing lyrics, we're going to give it a meaning. Also because when I first heard this song, I thought the lyrics were "Sun went down over Pompeii," and immediately sparked a bunch of things in my head, and then I found out it was "sun went down," and I got a little upset. So I don't need to explain anything about the title. It's obvious that he's moving on from the divorce, ready to let go. That's pretty self-explanatory. At the very beginning, Matt opens the song with "Sun went down over Pompeii." Now, with Pompeii, that is a really terrible tragedy that happened in ancient Rome. Everyone died in Pompeii. We all know this story. I don't need to go into huge detail, but it connects to Matt because this is how he feels going off from the divorce. He feels like he's dead, and he feels like there's no meaning to life anymore, there's nothing left for you. The sun going down, or a sunset, it can symbolize the end of a day, the passing of time, so another day passing, meaning that there's been a while since he's been suffering from this depression. This can also symbolize light leaving and darkness coming, which can connect to Matt feeling like a murderer and being in the perspective of a cold-blooded murderer, which in that same source, Matt said, I saw a depth. How do you say that? I can't say that word. I saw a depth of potential evil that I had never experienced firsthand. And in another source, Matt says, I guess that I had seasonal depression. Seasonal depression is where, when the sun is away, usually in the winter time, you're a lot less happier than you would normally be. So that would make it even worse in this situation. So if the sun is going down, not only is it symbolizing the light coming and the darkness leaving, but it also makes it worse because if he does have seasonal depression, it's finally dawning on him. That's ironic. Juxtaposition. It's obvious in the song that they've been thinking about divorce for a while, so it's finally dawning on him that this is happening and the depression is finally falling. Another line discusses, on both sides, the vow was broken. So in this lyric, they're obviously talking about marriage vows. Traditional wedding vows include marriage until death, loyalty, and loving each other until the very end. All our secrets will be spoken. This line is probably talking about the public in general, where there's just this thing about fans, I knew because I was in the center of it, where everyone wants to know your business. Everyone wants to know your business. If there is some beef between you and your spouse, they're gonna want to know. If you're fighting with each other, if you're separated, they want to know all the details. So at some point, they're gonna know our secret, we're being exposed. So all of our secrets will be spoken. So later in the pre-chorus, there's a line that says, are we just a puff of smoke? Yeah, underneath this bed of ashes. This is another connection to Pompeii. The bed can tie to sleeping with each other, so they were married, so they obviously were sleeping with each other at some point. That's what married couples do. A puff of smoke, I think of smoking a cigarette, which can also connect to lines in the chorus, and the puff is kind of the waste that comes out. So, are we just a puff of smoke? He's basically saying, has our relationship gone to waste? Which also connects to the bed of ashes. Pompeii is covered in ashes after this huge eruption that happened. And if underneath the bed of ashes, there's probably going to be some dead bodies. So are we just a waste? Have our lives gone to waste? Are we all just dead under this bed of ashes and done nothing great with our life? Matt said in another interview, "I just think that for a lot of people, not to take the focus off of myself, that feeling of imminent dread, like a cloak of black dust, was always around me." Black dust is similar to ashes, so in a way, it could also be that they're hidden and they're dead under all of this depression, this black smoke that is surrounding them, clouding their minds. Another lyric that connects to this in the chorus, "I'ma spread these ashes, never had control." So when he says spread these ashes, I think of like after a cremation, when you take someone's ashes and you spread them over somewhere that they liked so that their spirit can be free. So I guess it's kind of releasing her for once. He's ready to let go, so he's letting her be free. He's letting the memories go, letting them be free. And as well, because he's in the perspective of the murderer, it's also kind of like he has killed her, he has cremated her, and and he still has that love and respect for her in his heart. So now he is showing love and respect for her by spreading her ashes. Another line similar in the chorus, "I'ma strike these matches, never had control." This connects to, again, Matt revealed that he had been self-medicating a lot through this time. So this would be a way of coping. I connected this to Cigarette Daydreams, a previous song from the album Melophobia. This was a song that discussed getting together with his wife. So it's like he's reversing that process, because there's that line where he's kind of daydreaming over a cigarette what he needs to do. He's pondering it, thinking about what he should do. So if he's going back to self-medicating or daydreaming over a cigarette again, to strike a match is to start the cigarette. So he's kind of starting that process all over again, pondering if they should stay, pondering if he should move on. So it's like this whole cycle, like he's going back to that time. Returning back to the pre-chorus, we see a lyric that says, "As we slow dance, I become your statue frozen," which is another line that is extremely similar to Cigarette Daydreams. I cannot express how many connections to previous songs that I can connect this song to, and Cigarette Daydreams is one of the biggest ones. In the video for Cigarette Daydreams, Matt Shultz and his wife were shown slow dancing at the end with the car burning in the background. "I became your statue." A statue is something that doesn't move, it's something that you have complete control of. The statue, or being frozen, you can do whatever you want with that. It doesn't really have a purpose, it's just there for show, and that connects to his relationship. It's just a waste, we're only doing this now because for the appearances. But we can also connect this lyric to another song, Black Widow, with the line in the chorus, "I'm hypnotized by the way that you move," and in the entire song he's talking about how he's looking at this girl and he's just so hypnotized he'll do anything for her. And that's exactly what he's saying in this lyric. "I became your statue frozen, so I would do anything for you." Connecting to Black Widow, and also another song, Baby Blue, which was a B-side from the Melophobia album. There's a lyric in the second verse that says, "I was blue, your dress was red." Now, note the wording that he used in this lyric right here. He did not say, "I was wearing blue, she was wearing red." It is, "I was blue, she was wearing red." This lyric can have a whole ton of meanings. Blue represents sadness, so it could be that he was sad back then, and now she's red. So she has this like anger intentions, because that's one symbolism of the color red, and he's sad. Or it could also be that she's red, again connecting to Black Widow, standing there with your red coat on when she's captivating him. So he still has his eyes on her, he's sad, so he's willing to do anything she wants. In 2018, Matt posted on his Instagram a lot of things about a Boy Named Sue. Boy Named Sue is a song written by Johnny Cash, and it's talking about a boy who had a father that he hated, and his father named him Sue as a joke. And so now this son wants to murder his father, which, again, if you think about it, Matt is writing from the perspective of a murderer. So this connects to the song as well. But even more so, Baby Blue was Matt's nickname for his wife. I don't have a source for this, so I might be wrong about this fact. So by I was blue, it could be that he was still her baby blue, and she was still his Black Widow, or the girl with the red coat on. And hint, I was blue, her dress was red. So that means that times have changed now. He was posting a lot on Instagram that he was this, I don't remember what it was, that he was this, and now he is a boy named Sue. So it could symbolize him going from loving her, being her baby blue. He was blue, she was red. But now, in the video, we see him wearing red. So the tables have turned now. He is finally the one in control. And again, in Black Widow girl, you sit and wait till I climb into the web you make. I'm an animal, you got me losing control. I can't take it no more, girl, I can't take this abuse. And instead of her being in control of him, he is now in control of either his emotions or of her. So even though it happened long before he knew this was going to happen, Black Widow seemed to be a bit of a foreshadow to their divorce. Red is a huge symbol in this song. It's on the cover of the album, you see it so much in the music video. In the video, he wears like a red leotard bodysuit. He's also wearing red gloves at some point. There is a scene where they're eating this animal there's red blood. There's another scene, they're in bed together and they have red paint, which I think is supposed to be blood, on top of both of them. This can connect to the cold-blooded killer perspective that Matt has taken part in this song. You can also think of the phrase having blood on your hands. So they still have blood on their hands. They're still breaking rules because their vows have been broken. Maybe they breached a promise with each other. And in that video, there are a few times where we see either Matt or someone else crying blood. So from a few sources I've gathered, I've come to the conclusion that vampires cry blood. Now, vampires have no souls. They drink from other people in order to survive. It leans on the idea that he was always relying on her, and now that she's gone, he's now crying. Additionally, crying blood shows being killed by a fatal disease, which in this case it would be grief, depression, or sadness. And there are also some people who think that by staring at a chaos symbol for too long, chaos meaning the lead up to the divorce, maybe the aftermath of realizing that they needed to divorce, this will lead to you crying blood. According to Urban Dictionary, which isn't the most reliable source, but there's someone who says that crying blood can also mean that you really want to hurt someone. Right before the line of "I was blue, your dress was red," he also says, "We broke bread." There are so many biblical allusions in this song. My sophomore English teacher would be so proud. For this one, Christ broke bread with his apostles before he was crucified, and right before Judas betrayed him. So by breaking bread, directly it means that you are making peace with each other, but we already know that they're going to be divorced by this point. So we broke bread adds more to this idea of betrayal. So I was blue, your dress was red. She is trying to hurt him, trying to do something to him, and he is really sad right now, vulnerable, weak, just like Christ was. Now the woman in the red veil, which can also, again, we can see relationships with Black Widow and blood. You can see her holding a knife in different parts of the video at the funeral. So this can be, again, betrayal and breaking vows, but it's also kind of stabbing him in the back. So again, I was blue, her dress was red. He's sad, she has angry intentions. We broke bread, meaning they probably had some sort of argument or something. So now she's coming back with a knife ready to stab him in the back, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna break bread, I'm gonna make peace, but I'm gonna come right back and I'm gonna make you suffer." There's also a man on the left with part of his nose and his forehead covered. My question, is he the priest? Is the priest lying to Matt as well? Is he hiding his true intentions, as in like masking his face? Maybe that man could symbolize the reason for Matt and his wife's divorce. As for the cover of this single, I think the animal is a goat or a sheep. I might be wrong though. I'm going to assume it's a sheep because of the fur that it has. And sheep is another huge biblical allusion in this song. So there's a common parable used in the Bible of Christ being a shepherd and never leaving one of his lost sheep behind. If he has 100 sheep and one of them gets lost, he won't just act like that one sheep doesn't matter because he has 99 others. He's gonna go look after that one sheep and bring it back home. Matt, or whoever it is in the cover, is also cutting this sheep's hair. Hair is another huge biblical allusion, with Samson for one. Samson promised the Lord that he wouldn't cut his hair in exchange for blessings. This can be connected to their wedding vows breaking, because they're promised that if they love each other, if they cherish each other, they'll be happy. But if those vows are being broken now, they're cutting that hair and they're going to lose all these blessings. And it's, again, another betrayal where they're not going back for that sheep. They're not taking care of that one sheep. They're not staying together, they're breaking that now. Additionally, with hair, in Native American culture, they would often grow out their hair to symbolize not only power, but also growth of their spirit. They usually only cut it after a death in the family, and we can connect this not only to him being a cold-blooded killer, but the death of their love and their marriage. Cutting their hair in Native American culture can also symbolize moving on from past thoughts, ideas, or evils. And this is the entire idea of the song, Ready to Let Go, he's ready to move on. The music video showed a lot of strange things. So we start off the song and we see what looks like a funeral. We can confirm this because Matt has already revealed that he is speaking in the perspective of a killer. This can also symbolize the funeral for the death of their marriage, the ending of their marriage. For one, the obvious detail you can see is that most of the people at the funeral, including Matt, look like they're naked. So being naked, you're exposed for one, and two, you feel you're free from clothing. So exposure meaning your secrets are finally being exposed. Again, your secrets will be spoken. He's finally sharing that he's getting divorced, about his issues with that in this entire album. And as for freedom, he's finally letting go of these thoughts. He's not letting it bother him anymore. It's over now. You can see a chain around Matt's neck while he's singing this. Chains can either be the chains of love, it could be the chains of grief, anger, betrayal, depression, or any other issue he's facing that's holding him down, making him sad. And if you look in the background of the funeral, you can see 3 statues, one of them being Mary and 2 of them being angels. On Mother Mary, you can see a snake wrapped around her. Now in the Bible, a snake represents Satan. One of the commandments was don't eat the fruit. So he convinced Adam to transgress against the Lord and eat the fruit. This can be, again, connected to Matt and his wife breaking their wedding vows. The angel to the right also has a rope around her neck. It could be a rope, it could be a snake, so it could be that angel is captured. It's also a snake and it connects to the same reason. I kind of want to think of a noose and kind of killing the angel, killing the good in their life, and the good coming to an end. We can also see some old-time style footage of Matt and the band playing this song in this video. This can be, again, connected to Matt and his wife breaking their wedding vows. There's another scene where we see these 2 people hammering nails into their hands. And this is a very obvious biblical allusion to the crucifixion, which again, we can see allusions in the first verse, in the second verse, where he says, we broke bread. So now at this point, it is the crucifixion, it's a betrayal of trust, and they're now crucifying each other. We also see a man and a woman in bed with a bunch of people watching them from the sidelines. This is an old tradition from the Middle Ages. Usually if you were in a royal family, they would watch you sleep together, sometimes because there was no terms of privacy. So this could connect to, again, the image of the public wanting to know all of the juicy details about their divorce. I don't know, this video just kind of makes me uncomfortable. It's so ominous and dark. There's the funeral and the almost naked people dancing, the people in bed making out together, that animal turned from black to white in that scene when they were eating it. Is that a symbol of going from darkness to light? If that animal symbolized betrayal, is that betrayal coming to light? Is that being exposed? There's that one woman in the hallway that was so dark and mysterious before, we didn't really know what she was doing at that time. But she's hidden until the end of the video where we see her with a hunting dog. Was she hunting him down to kill him? Then you see him staggering at the end like he's drunk, and caught DWI, or he's being weak from stabbing him with that knife that we saw the woman with. His hands go up and surrender at the end. It's over now. He's letting it all go. He's allowing that darkness to take him. Or is he letting it lift? But that's just me. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you hate my voice? Am I hideous? Should I stop talking? Am I going insane? Leave it in the comments below. So what other songs do you guys want me to tear to pieces? Did I get any lyrics wrong? Please correct me. It would help me so much. Until next time, thanks guys for watching, and remember to play it loud. Admits math of those sessions. We all love math, don't we? I skipped an entire line. It's always these quotes that I get the problem on. It's like reading a script stealth art. Okay. Bleh, the needed to be. I might cut that out. Ethics, yay. The snake convinces Satan. The snake convinces Satan. The snake is Satan. Say hi to Winnie, everyone. I love you. You wanna get right up in front of the camera?